Thank you very much, Joe Chris. And thank you to Rusty Smith displaying the United States flag for our Dirt Draft opening ceremonies tonight here at All-Tech Raceway. We're ready for the final night of the Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches Sunshine Swing. We hope you're ready. We've got 3 heat races for modifieds, 3 heat races for sportsmen coming up. But first, a brief break on FloRacing.
BDRSpeed.com offers a complete line of oval track speed equipment.
Jeremy Slavic trying to make a bid for the 2 spot.
Products like All-Star Performance, Bicknell Racing Products, Barron's Performance, Burt Transmissions, DMI, Valco, Penske, MotorState, JLR Technologies, TV12 Race Products, and more.
Jeremy Slavic, your modified winner.
Our online store makes parts ordering easy and convenient from anywhere at any time. BDRSpeed.com. Speed at your fingertips.
Ollie's deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
Can this pack be real?
This has to be a joke. It's no joke. This store is amazing. You have to see it for yourself. Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices. Bargains on housewares, toys, bed and bath, books, food, gifts, and so much more. Hurry in to get the deals now, because when they're gone, they're gone.
Ollie!
Good stuff, cheap!
Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches. We are the #1 Renegade Toter Home dealer and the #1 Intech and Bravo Sprint Car Trailer dealer. No one sells more toter homes and sprint car trailers than we do. Check out our complete lineup at capitalrenegade.com. If you're in the market for a toter home or a trailer, trust the people that are in the pits with you and that support the sport.
Since 2016, DIG Race Products has had a sole focus on Northeast dirt modified shocks and suspension tuning. Located centrally in New York, DIG is the industry leader in at-track shock and setup support. This hands-on, at-the-track approach is what guides the design and development in delivering the highest quality shock absorbers to the dirt oval track market. Take your program to the next level and feel the difference on Dig.
Welcome back to All-Tech Raceway for tonight's Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches Sunshine Swing, the final night of action here at All-Tech Raceway. We're ready to go with heat number 1 for the Mighty Modifieds. 8 laps, 6 qualify, 4 to the redraw, and this is the way they will go to the post. Pole position out of East Greenbush, New York, will be Bobby Hackle, the 4th.
Alongside of him out of Canandaigua, New York, driving in their Nardozzi Construction and Paving, Barron's Performance Warehouse 78, Alex Payne.
Starting 3rd out of Middletown, New York, in the Stefersky Paving Accurate Collision of Pompano Beach, Florida, number 16X, Danny Creedon.
4th starting spot out of Gilderland, New York, the S&S Asphalt Paving, Family Electric, Boss Mechanical, number 9.
Number 35, Francois Belmar. Final night of action for the Mighty Modifieds. Heat number 1 ready to go. Joe Chris looks them over. Here they come. And there they go into action in turn number 1. 6 will go to the feature, 4 to the redraw. And Bobby Hackle, the 4th, will be your leader down the backstretch.
Yeah, Hackle taking advantage. He quickly jumps out to the lead. Danny Buck from 7th will drive into 5th here in the opening corner. Siri working up on the top side. Buck gets by him and Rudolph. Danny Buck into the 5th spot. Mark Johnson, meanwhile, nearly got the ATL Fuel Cells Hot Lap Hero Award, trying to work to 3rd underneath of Danny Creedon.
Down the back straightaway now, Mark Johnson, Danny Creedon battling. Here comes Tyler Siri. High, wide, and handsome on the outside lane down the back. He'll battle Danny Buck.
Yes, Siri trying to work back forward. Siri started in the 5th spot. Now on the bubble for a transfer spot. Again, for those of you at home, the 6 cars with a crown at the top of their number are the cars in transfer spots. The top 4 go to the redraw. Right now, Tyler Siri trying to put the heat on Mark Johnson. Johnson continues to try to work by Creedon.
Into the outside lane now, we've got Eric Rudolph running the outside lane, trying to keep pace with Danny Buck and Tyler Siri. Siri around Buck and now outside of Mark Johnson.
How about it? Siri timed 5th in this group, fell back to 6th, and now working that outside groove is marching his way forward. He's into a BA Custom Headers redraw spot. Now he drops down to about the middle groove. Mark Johnson will try the top side. Cross flags halfway this time by Johnson on the outside looking in of a redraw spot. Hackle and Payne continue to set the pace.
The boss man continues to work the outside lane down the back straightaway. Siri got by several cars. Now moving in on Danny Creedon. Looks like he's going to stay on the outside. Mark Johnson said, well, I got passed up there. Let me try it. He'll go to the outside as well.
Guys have talked about it. You just talked to Stuart Friesen down in just prior to opening ceremonies. The track definitely a little bit slicker, a little bit earlier in the night than it has been. Mark Johnson struggling with it. Siri, though, makes a mistake. Johnson going to reel back in the bumper of the 5-star, and he's bringing the 6 of Danny Buck with him now. Siri pushes. There goes Johnson.
Here comes Hackle still leading. The 70 of Alex Payne enjoying one of his best nights. He's running in 2nd spot. Creedon is 3rd. No longer getting any pressure from Siri. Siri now dropping back off the pace, and Mark Johnson has the last redraw spot.
Tyler Siri learning all about All-Tech Raceway. You can be a hero, and quickly it goes away on you. Again, he'll lose the front end. Barron's Performance Warehouse, white flag. Siri all of a sudden was challenging for 3rd. He's now back to 6th, trying to work back by Danny Buck, but here comes Eric Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph was trying to get up there and challenge Buck and Siri. Final lap. Checkered flag will fall. The Sunoco checker falls on Hackle, followed by Payne and Creedon, the top 3. 4th spot to go to the redraw will be Mark Johnson. Then Danny Buck and Rudolph will beat Tyler Siri to the wire to qualify. Wow. What an action-packed heat that was. They were swapping spots back and forth, taking the heat win. The 97, Bobby Hackle, the 4th. Runner-up, the 78, Alex Payne. 3rd, the 16X, Danny Creedon. And 4th, to qualify in the redraw, the 9 of Mark Johnson. Also qualifying the 6 of Danny Buck and the 25 of Eric Rudolph. Those are your top 6.
That was a wild race. We still got 2 more modified heat races to go, Jeff.
Here we go with the lineup. Heat number 2, pole position out of Fulton, New York. In the FX Compare Honda, Tracy Road Equipment, Jamber Sports Bar, number 99L, Lightning Larry White.
Alongside of him, the Smith Site Development, Jeremy Smith Racing, number 12 out of Binghamton, Darren Smith.
Starting from third from the Shannock Station, New Jersey. Bridgeport winner this past year in the Ace Materials Active Disposal Blue Hem Performance number 6, Matty Ice, Matt Stengel.
Fourth starting spot out of Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, the Design Concepts and Enterprises, Abstract Environmental 01C, the Charlie Lord entry is Tanner Van Doren.
Fifth starting spot out of Roscoe, New York in the Quality Forestry Management Waste Wood Recycling. Number 28 will be Michael Troutshold.
Alongside of him, hailing out of Federalsburg, Maryland, driving in the Blades HVA Services, number 65 is Austin Hubbard.
Seventh starting spot driving in the Charlie Tibbetts Masonry St. Lawrence Radiology BDR Speed 01, Danny Varon.
Going from 8th out of Goshen, New York, the Shoeback Sod Farms, number 15M, Daniel Morgevitz.
Inside row 5, driving in the Raymond Construction 29J, Julien Raymond.
And out of Fort Plain, New York, the Highland Enterprises 27, Jason Riome. Not answering the call. We go to green with 9 of them.
Again, 6 will go to the feature, 4 to the redraw, out of the turn. Heat 2 is underway, and Lightning Larry testing the outside already down the back straightaway. We got a side-by-side battle for position number 3.
I hope you're not surprised by that, Jeff. That is what the 99 does. Now White loses the nose. Here comes Darren Smith trying to cross him back over. Remember, opening night, Smith was very much in the fray with Larry White for the runner-up spot. Now trying to keep pace with him here in the heat race. It's White, Smith. Stengel didn't qualify last night. Now trying to put it in the redraw.
Yeah, Stengel's had an up-and-down week. He had mechanical issues last night. He had mechanical issues the night before, but got him fixed in time to win his heat. Stengel now battling with Darren Smith down the straightaway. A battle amongst two young drivers for the number 2 spot with Larry White leading the way, and now we've got Tanner Van Doren battling it out with Austin Hubbard for the last redraw spot.
Yeah, Van Doren was the quick timer in this group. That's one of the things the invert does. You may be the quickest in hot laps and time trials, but you've got to earn it come heat race time. TBD trying to hang on to it. Austin Hubbard is 5th. Danny Varon is 6th. White, another mistake. Here comes Darren Smith making a bid for the lead off of turn number 2.
Down the back straightaway, Darren Smith was getting pressure from Matt Stengel. Suddenly, he's going to challenge Larry White for the number 1 spot. White switched to the bottom. He'll go back to the top, and Darren Smith is right on his back bumper.
I don't have any idea what the preferred groove is right now, and I don't think the drivers do either. Different lines every time. Van Doren a mistake down in 1 and 2. Smith continuing to pressure the back bumper of Larry White. Stengel about an arm's length behind the lead duo.
The track out there in turn number 1 looks like Utica Rome glass when they go into turn 1. Here comes Smith to the inside of Larry White down the straightaway. He'll drive by and grab the lead. Darren Smith now on top of Larry White.
Obviously what Matt Shepard and Larry White have done this week, they have been the top 2 cars, but Darren Smith may be the most impressive so far this week. Been very, very impressive. Fast all week, keeping pace with the big dogs of modified racing now. Twin sticks are in the air. Smith has gotten by Larry White and leaving him in the dust.
Out of the corner now, Stengel a distant 3rd. Behind him, TBD, Tanner Van Doren still 4th. The last redraw spot, then Hubbard, then Danny Varon. Holding down the last qualifying spot will take the Barrett's Performance Warehouse. White flag, 1 lap to go for Darren Smith.
Yeah, 1 more trip around. No challenge for any of those final qualifying spots. Hubbard comfortably 5th. Danny Varon very well comfortably 6th. He's got over 3 seconds back to 7th. Darren Smith will work out of turn number 4 with a win here in heat number 2.
Darren Smith taking the Sunoco checker, followed by Larry White, then Matt Stengel and Tanner Van Doren. Austin Hubbard and Danny Varon complete the top 6. Then we got Troutshold and Morgevitz and Raymond. Heat number 2, your winning driver, the 12, Darren Smith. Runner-up to the 99L, Larry White. 3rd to 6th, Matt Stengel. And 4th, the 01C, Tanner Van Doren. They go to the redraw. Also qualifying the 65, Austin Hubbard, and the 01 of Danny Varon. Heat number 3 will go to the post this way. Pole position, the Quaker Shaker out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. The Blinderman & Son Recycling. Beacon Building Products number 7 of Rick Laubach.
Alongside of him, out of Clayton, New York. Hopefully he has the issues fixed up driving. in the FX Caprera Ford Bay Brokerage, number 11, Matt Caprera.
Third spot out of Savannah, New York. He's been unbeatable so far this week here. The defending Short Track Super Series North and South Region champion, driving the Hurlock Autumn Speed Gibbons Produce Couple House Family number 9S. It'll be Matt Shepard.
Fourth starting spot, probably the most determined driver in the field tonight out of Sprakers, New York, the Halmar International. Bart Contracting 44, Stuart Friesen.
Starting from fifth out of Oxford, New York, the Blue Ox Energy, Smith Productions, Upstate Tool 34, Rusty Smith.
Sixth starting spot, driving in the Signworks Fleet Graphics Dig Race Products, number 3 junior out of Owego, New York. That is Seth Zacharias.
Seventh spot out of East Canaan, Connecticut in the Dry Zone Racing Development, Lindell Fuels 35, Chris Curtis.
Eighth starting spot, the SNW Auto Center, number 6 out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, Money Matt Williamson.
Driving in the Pepsi, number 21A, Peter Britton.
And the 7Z, Zach Payne, the MP delivery entry.
10 more cars, 8 more laps. We will take 6 to the feature and 4 to the redraw. Lawbox got the lead. Friesen and Shepard battle side by side for third. Down the back behind them is a side-by-side battle between Rusty Smith and Seth Zacharias. Friesen's got the hammer down on the outside lane, battling with the 9 of Shepard, and Caprera is battling with Lawbach.
Make no mistake about it, the 44 is absolutely going to want to beat the 9S here in this heat race. Friesen, I told you he was going to be determined, trying to drive right through the middle there off of turn number 2. He's around Caprera to second. Now he'll work right up against the wall. Lawbach shoves the nose. Friesen trying to thread the needle. He will do so. Here comes Caprera off the bottom. Friesen, your leader.
Yeah, Caprera goes to the inside of Lawbach to make a pass for the lead, and Friesen went right around both of them. There wasn't much room up there for more than a bicycle between Lawbach and the wall, and somehow Friesen got the 44 through there, and he's got the lead.
You can bet your bottom dollar the 44 is going to drive as hard as anybody tonight. Tired of watching the 9S in victory lane. Friesen out in front, Caprera second. Shepard's up to the third spot. Rick Lawbach is fourth, then a little bit of a gap, and then you got a 3-car battle between Rusty Smith, Matt Williamson, and Seth Zacharias for the final 2 transfer spots.
How about Matt Caprera? He ran well one night. A couple other nights he had problems. He's running well tonight. Right now, Lawbach and him battle for position. Lawbach loses a spot to Shepard. Shepard catches Caprera, and Shepard now goes to second.
Yeah, Shepard into the runner-up spot. The 44 has absolutely set sail. About 2 seconds now back to Mac Shepard. Meanwhile, Rusty Smith trying to put the moves on Rick Lawbach for the final BA Custom Headers redraw spot. Here comes Seth Zacharias. Here comes Matt Williamson, Chris Curtis, and Peter Britton all in the fray with 3 more trips around.
Yeah, Lawbach now finds himself in the hot seat, the last redraw spot, but Rusty Smith is catching him down the back straightaway. Rusty Smith, Zacharias right there as well. Matt Williamson there closing in, and now they're side by side with 2 to go.
Twin sticks in the air. The top 3 have left this gaggle of race cars behind. Rusty Smith coming after Rick Lawbach. A great 5, almost 6-car battle here for 1 redraw spot, and the final 3 qualifying spots are up for grabs. Smith will motor by Lawbach down the back straightaway. Williamson and Zacharias still side by side for the final qualifying spot.
Yes, Smith and Lawbach side by side. Williamson side by side off the turn with Zacharias, and Curtis is right behind. Throw a blanket over those 5 into the corner. Meanwhile, Friesen's all by his lonesome in turn number 4.
I hope the battle tonight for the features as good as this battle for redraw and qualifying positions. Friesen and Shepard walk the dog in heat number 3. They go 1 and 2. Matt Caprera all by his lonesome third. Final redraw spot goes to Rusty Smith. Lawbach and Matt Williamson are qualified. Everybody else in the battle, out of that battle, will go to the consolation. What a race from 4th on back. Stuart Friesen was dominant, but 4th on back was an absolute blast. And Rusty Smith, how about it, comes up with the final redraw spot.
When they took the Bears Performance Warehouse white flag 1 to go, there was a 5-car battle for that last redraw spot. You could have thrown a blanket over him. Taking the win, no doubt about it, the 44 Stuart Friesen, runner-up the 9S Matt Shepard, third, the 11 Matt Caprera with a good run, and fourth, the 34 Rusty Smith. Also qualifying the 7 of Rick Lawbach and the 6 of Matt Williamson. First of 3 heats for the 602 Sportsman, part of the Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches Sunshine Sway in the final night. Here's the way they line up heat number 1 from Drummondville, Quebec, the 21, Jan Boussier.
Alongside of him out of Addison, New York, the Micro Solutions 5K, Kenny Peoples.
Third row inside the Belmont's Garage, number 14 out of Upper Makefield, Joe Toth.
Fourth starting spot out of Galloway, New Jersey, the ace in the whole landscaping, 73, Paulie Hartwig III.
Starting fifth out of Hermitage, Pennsylvania, the Wheatland Steel Processing 5C, Aiden Cipriano.
Going from sixth, the Bobcat of Hamilton, number 72 out of St. Catharines, Ontario, James Friesen.
Starting from seventh, driving from Quebec in the 61L, Donovan Lucier.
Eighth starting spot out of Malta, New York, the Onyx Industries 42, Daryl Nutting.
Starting from ninth, the Brudell Fuels number 26B out of Madison, New York, Matty Brudell.
And the final starting spot, the Benson's Pet Center number 6, John Santolin out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
We are underway with heat number 1 of 3 for the 602 Sportsman. Again, same like the modifieds. 8 laps, 6 qualify, 4 to the redraw, and Paulie Hartwig goes to the outside, and he'll grab the lead. No surprise there, Chris.
4-1. There is no fear in that kid. They all say the youngsters haven't had a big wreck yet to scare them a little bit. Paulie Hartwig, I don't know if a wreck would scare him. The kid just will not get off the gas. Ripping the top side. He's your leader. Boussier second, but here comes Kenny Peoples Jr. to his inside. Boussier slides up. Two-car battles. Peoples and Boussier, Toth and Friesen.
Yeah, Peoples had 2 good nights. Last night wasn't as good, but tonight he's on the gas again. The Woodhull Raceway champ down the straightaway. Peoples now second. Boussier dropping back to third. Toth now side by side battling with James Friesen. He was the Merrittville champion, not in 23, but in 22.
Toth shakes off Friesen. Now he'll go to the outside of Jan Boussier. Remember, Boussier started on the pole of this one. Toth picks up a big push down in 3 and 4. Friesen's going to get by. Cipriano pulls up alongside of him. Cipriano runs in 6th. Those are your transfer cars. They've got a little bit of a gap back to Donovan Lucier.
Toth fighting the handle now, going into the corner. Suddenly he's picked up a bit of a push. This time he drives it in really hard and angles it across the corner. Doesn't push up that time, but Aiden Cipriano is right there challenging side by side. James Friesen now to the outside will go around the outside of Jan Boussier.
James Friesen started 6th, trying to take the 3rd spot away from his fellow Canadian Jan Boussier. St. Catharines versus Drummondville, and it will be Friesen. Ontario versus Quebec there. Friesen gets to 3rd. Boussier now all of a sudden on the bubble for the final BA Custom Headers redraw spot. Toth got around Cipriano. Boussier shoves up the track. Toth trying to work to the inside.
Yeah, that's a 3-car duel between Boussier, Toth, and Cipriano. Cipriano right there. Meanwhile, further up front, it is Kenny Peoples reeling in Paulie Hartwig. Hartwig had a comfortable lead, but Peoples got the hammer down. He's closing in on Paulie Hartwig. Hartwig still on the outside. Peoples tiptoeing around the bottom. They're side by side out of turn number 2.
Yeah, the bottom side really coming in right now. The 5K's got it rolling down there. Trying to work to the inside of Hartwig. We'll go double box. Battle for the lead. Battle for the final redraw spot, but the yellow lights will come on.
Donovan Lucier, I believe, is the car in trouble there in turn number 2.
I have this one light right here in front of me. I didn't see him. Lucier very fast up at his home tracks of Autodrome Granby and La RPM. His dad, actually, Donovan, is the promoter of Autodrome Granby and La RPM, both up in Quebec. And Lucier was 1 spot out of a transfer, running in the 7th spot, and it kind of lost touch with Cipriano. But 7th in the first heat would put you on the pole of the Consi. So Lucier was still in a good position to make tonight's feature. Now he's got a little bit more work to do. He will go to 9th. John Santolin pulled off. So we've got 9 cars out there. Paulie Hartwig, the 3rd, your leader, will choose the bottom. 6 complete, 2 laps to go. Green is out. James Friesen gets a good run, trying to pull him alongside Peoples for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, the yellow regrouped the field. Here comes Boussier to the outside. Wow. Whoa. He got a good run in the restart, and Toth is right there with him. And now Peoples will go to the outside lane and try to grab the lead away from Paulie Hartwig.
James Friesen almost had 2nd. He's 6th right now, working through the corner, trying to roll the bottom. Barron's Performance Warehouse, white flag, 1 to go. Toth's to 3rd. Friesen and Boussier are side by side, and Kenny Peoples Jr. has taken the lead away.
Yeah, where did Toth come from? Out of nowhere, Boussier tried to make a bit on the outside, couldn't pull it off, and Peoples has grabbed the lead away from Paulie Hartwig. We'll take a checker.
Restart's really shaking things up here at the end. Peoples, Hartwig, Toth, and Friesen to the redraw. Boussier and Cipriano are qualified. Then it was Nutting, Lucier, and Matty Brodell rounding out the finishing cars. But how about the shakeup to the end of that one? Heat number 1 for the Sportsman.
Absolutely. That restart paid dividends for some, not for some others. 5K, Kenny Peoples Jr. the winner. The 73, Paulie Hartwig the third is second. 14, Joe Toth gets the third spot. 72, James Friesen fourth. They go to the redraw. 21, Jan Boussier is fifth. And the 5C, Aiden Cipriano is in sixth position. Lineup for heat number 2, pole position out of Johnstown. Driving in the Ingram Engines, LM Mason Contracting, 21C is Brian Calabrese.
Alongside of him, out of Chelsea, Quebec, driving in the Terra Pro Construction, Gadler's Pavage, number 22C, Cedric Gouvreau.
Starting third out of Ballston Spa, New York, the CQC Painting, HG Concrete Construction, 49, Chris Jakubiak.
Fourth starting spot out of Gloversville, New York, your Fastline Performance Hot Lap hero tonight. The FX Cabrera Harley Davidson Big Dog Towing 5EJ of Tanner Warner.
Starting from fifth, he was the Devil's Bowl Speedway winner this year out of Quechee, Vermont, and the McGee Family Racing, McGeeCars.com, 813, Jason Quenville.
Sixth starting spot out of Spencertown, New York. The Madsen Overhead Doors, Emmerich Associates, 89, Dylan Madsen.
Starting from seventh spot of Mount Upton, New York, driving in the number 23. That's the Upstate Company entry of David Dickey.
Eighth starting spot out of Quebec, Canada, the number 28L, Eric Lausier.
In the Interstate Batteries, number 38 out of Cornwall, New York, Kevin Stevens.
The final starting spot out of Milford, Delaware, the Milwaukee Tools, 142, Justin Zook.
Heat 2 of 3 for the 602 Sportsman. Again, 8 laps, 6 qualify, 4 to the redraw. We take the green into the turn. Out of the corner, we got a battle for the lead once again. Down the back straightaway, Cedric Gouvreau leading the way over Brian Calabrese.
Gouvreau washes up the racetrack down in 3 and 4. Calabrese sneaks back underneath of him. Calabrese just barely at the line over Gouvreau. Then Warner, Jakubiak, Madsen, and Quenville. Your 6 transfer cars here on the opening lap.
Dylan Madsen, a former Sunshine Swing champion and winner, working the outside lane now, moving in on Jakubiak, followed by Quenville into the turn. That is a battle now for the last redraw position.
And a good battle going on for the lead here. Gouvreau got it. Calabrese not giving up on it. Calabrese trying to roll the bottom. Misses it a little bit there. Works through the middle. Able to keep pace with Gouvreau. Then you've got Warner and Dylan Madsen trying to sneak by Jakubiak for the final redraw spot.
Yeah, Tanner Warner definitely closing in on the two guys battling for the lead. Here comes the battle. Gouvreau leading the way. This time, Calabrese will dive to the inside again. Gouvreau beats him down the straightaway, and then Calabrese comes after him in the corners, and Tanner Warner not far behind him.
Tanner Warner is going to be a factor in tonight's feature event. Made the redraw last night, got the 12, hoping for better than that tonight. He's in the redraw right now. Gouvreau leading here at the halfway point with Calabrese hot on his heels. Then Warner is third. Madsen is driven into the fourth and final redraw spot from sixth. Jakubiak is fifth. And Quenville still holds the final transfer spot with Kevin Stevens trying to run him down.
Madsen is now in fourth, then Jakubiak, then we've got the 813 at Quenville. Meanwhile, up front, Cedric Gouvreau setting the pace, rim riding the outside in 1 and 2. Calabrese has the whole bottom six, his nose down low, but cannot make the move on Gouvreau. Gouvreau keeps it a lot lower going into 3 and 4.
Right around the bottom down there in 3 and 4. Gouvreau continuing to set the pace with 2 laps to go. Calabrese rides second. Warner is third. Madsen trying to run him down. Warner gets a good run there off of 2, but then swings wide, and Calabrese scoots away again with the runner-up spot.
Gouvreau running his best race of the week. He had a couple of good ones earlier in the week, but he had to come from deep in the pack to get his good finish. He's going to try to set himself up a little bit better tonight by grabbing a heat win and getting into the redraw. He is now just walking away from Calabrese after taking the Bears Performance Warehouse white flag.
Yeah, Gouvreau finding something in this heat race tonight, something he hasn't had the first few nights. He'll work out of the corner with a heat race win. Gouvreau wins heat number 2. Calabrese, Warner, and Madsen, your 4 cars to the BA Custom Headers redraw. Jakubiak, and Quenville are your qualified cars.
Heat 2, your winning driver, the 22, Cedric Gavreau. Followed by the 21C, Brian Calabrese second. The 5E of Tanner Warner third. The 89, Dylan Madsen fourth. They go to the redraw. 49, Chris Jakubiak is fifth. And the 813, Jason Quenville qualifying in position number 6. Oh, we got a little dispute here on the front. We've got David Dickey and the 28 of Eric Lozier trading a little bumper tag here coming down the front stretch. Heat number 3 will line up this way. Pole position, driving out of Southampton, New Jersey, in the Protect Roofing. Number 30T, also sponsored by Beacon Building Supply. That's Rob Teat.
Alongside of him, first time behind the wheel this week, the Zielinski Paving. High Voltage Hills, number 11, out of Oneida, New York, is Matt Janzik.
Starting from third from Milford, Delaware, the Peninsula Seed 17T, Chris Thompson.
Alongside of him, two-time winner this week, the Ted's Body Shop, Parker Excavating 14T, Peyton Talbot.
Starting from fifth out of South Plainfield, New Jersey, he is driving in the Ellery's Restaurant Supreme Heating Camp Out Incorporated 29, Matt Ellery.
Sixth starting spot out of Saratoga Springs, the Stones Pharmacy, M&J Construction 27, Michael Ballestero.
Starting from seventh, driving out of Quebec, in car number 85, that is the Girard Equipment entry, David Langoy.
Going from 8th, the Dietz & Watson, Danny's Pizza Pizzazz, 16S, Tom Moore Jr.
Final starting spot out of Covington, Pennsylvania, in the Harrah Construction 44, Jim O'Hara. Again, 8 laps, 6 qualify, 4 to the redraw. Out of the corner they go, 3 wide. Ballestero up near the wall, trying to pull it down. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead. Peyton Talbot, where did he come from already? He started in 4th, and he's already in the lead in turn 3.
Yeah, the bottom row didn't quite get going. Talbot took advantage of it, worked his way to the lead. He and Matt Janzik duke it out on Friday nights at the Utica Rome Speedway. Going to go at it here on a Saturday night down in Florida at Alltech. Meanwhile, Rob Teat and Michael Ballestero going at it for third. Ballestero will grab the spot.
Yeah, Talbot and Janzik were about the only two guys that won any of the features this past year at Utica. Talbot, second in points. Janzik was the point champion. Meanwhile, Ballestero now working his way to third, still utilizing the outside lane. Rob Teat running well. He's 4th. He's got the last redraw spot, followed by Ellery and now Tom Moore Jr.
Teat swinging wide over there in 3 and 4. Rob Teat will bounce off the wall. Teat might have broken something. He's still into the wall. And the 30, the front end, I don't believe is healthy on that race car. So Matt Ellery into the BA Custom Headers redraw spot. Teat continuing to fight the race car down in 1 and 2.
Tough break for him because he was running very well. He timed well, and he was running well here in his heat race, but he did what happens to so many other guys, got up a little too high, got into the fence. It just happened again. I think that front end is bent. He may be pulling to the infield.
Yeah, it took him a lap, but I think he figured it out. The front end of that race car is not healthy. Teat will make it to the infield. We will come to 3 laps to go. It is Talbot, your leader. Janzik second, Ballestero third, and Matt Ellery, who's had his share of struggles this week, finally, maybe here on the final night, finding something in that 29 car. Ellery, the New Jersey native, New Egypt Speedway regular in the final BA Custom Headers redraw spot 2 more times around.
Well, he had problems tonight in the hot lap sessions, but Tom Moore Jr. is moving forward now. He's 1 away from a redraw spot. He's worked his way from his original 8th starting spot up to 5th. We'll take the Bears Performance Warehouse white flag. 1 to go for your leader, Peyton Talbot, your current point leader in the chase for the Wagner Automotive Championship.
Yeah, Talbot really strong here again. The 14T, doesn't matter what night, what the track conditions are. Talbot really fast again, working out at turn number 4. Barron's Performance Warehouse white flag leads to a Sunoco checkered. Peyton Talbot continues to click them off here on the Sunshine Swing. Janzik gets second, Ballestero third. Matt Ellery gets the final redraw spot, then Tom Moore Jr. and David Langoy qualifying for tonight's feature event.
Your winning driver of heat number 3, the 14T, Peyton Talbot. Runner-up to the 11 of Matt Jensick. Third, the 27, Michael Ballestero. Fourth, the 29, Matt Ellery. They are the final redraw spots. Also qualifying the 16S of Tom Moore Jr. and the 85 of David Langoy. Consolation time for the modifieds. Last chance to qualify. Front row will be the 5-star Tyler Seary, the 28 of Michael Troutschuld.
Row 2 inside, the 3 junior of Seth Zacharias and the 38 Jean Mathieu Raymond.
Third row, the 15M Daniel Morgevitz and the 35 of Chris Curtis.
Row 4, the inside, the 35 of Francois Bellemare, and alongside of him, the 29 is Julian Raymond.
Row 5, the 21A of Peter Britton and the 27, Jason Riom.
And the 6th and final row, one car in it. Driving in the 7Z is Zach Payne.
11 scheduled. The 11 are out there.